How's it going, everybody? Lake Ranger here. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to do a little part 2 on how God answers prayers. In my last video, I talked about the Lord's, if you haven't seen it yet, I talked about the Lord's Prayer. If you haven't seen it, please, after this video is done, go check it out. It's probably my favorite video I made so far. It's pretty good. But after when this video is done, you can go ahead and check it out. Now, if you're new around here and you enjoy what I make, please consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you've already subscribed and you like what I'm doing, please hit the like button down below. It'll mean the world to me if you did that. Now, today I'm going to, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to talk about how prayers work the best way I know how. According to how Scripture tells us God answers them, and in which ways He does answer them. According to what I've learned from experts and from what from reading the Bible and praying, God usually answers prayers in 4 ways. The first answer God usually gives is no. Now, no one likes to hear no, especially from God, but there's 3 reasons why that is. The first reason is if it's no good for you. If it doesn't align with God's plan, God's not going to give it to you. But another reason why it'll be a no is if you demand something from God. God does not like it when you demand something from Him. He will either give it, not give it to you, or worse, He'll give it to you 100-fold, which you don't want either of those. I know you don't, but God does not. And finally, do not test the Lord your God. If your prayer is to test God, He's not going to give it to you. I'm sorry, He's not going to give it to you. God will be give you away to the despair. He's done that many times with people in the Bible, many times in human history, but you can't test God. You cannot do that. But if it doesn't align with God's plan for you, God will not give it to you. The second answer usually God gives when you pray for something is patience. Be patient and it will come to you. Now, this is probably the most common one I hear about and I see these days. It doesn't really happen back then according to what I've seen in the Bible, but this day and age, people are moving so fast, and people need to learn how to slow down some. That's probably the reason why God calls us to be patient. But the reason why God calls us to be patient is because we need to learn how to trust God more. If you're not trusting God, then enough that your prayer... Well, I should say that if you're not going to trust that God has already done it for you, then the prayer might backfire on you. That's why... there's an example. If you go to Luke, chapter 1, actually, this is probably the best example of it happening. Um, in Luke, we hear about Zechariah and Elizabeth, who are uh, the parents of John the Baptist. Um, Now, these guys were old in years, but they've been praying for their whole lives to have a child. Um, Now, when they're well in years, the archangel Gabriel shows up and tells them about them being pregnant, um, and tells them that he'll be called John. And the child will be like Elijah, a prophet, the last prophet before Jesus shows up. Uh, Basically, the forerunner of Christ. Now, Zechariah foolishly laughs at this and says, "How is this possible that my wife is pregnant when she's so old?" And Gabriel responds with, in disbelief, and basically tells him, in disbelief, I will not let you speak until the child arrives, just so that your lack of faith doesn't spoil the gift that God has given you. Disbelief, Gabriel was so upset about this disbelief that he made him mute. He couldn't speak until the child was born, because Gabriel was afraid that God's blessing would mess up with his disbelief. And I know this is kind of a side note. If an angel of God appeared in front of me and told me, "Hey, I'm gonna have a son," first option is I'm gonna probably pee myself and probably pass out. And whatever it told me, I wouldn't disbelieve it, but man, would I not be, that's not gonna happen. But man, things were different back then, guys. Anyways, but in that disbelief, Gabriel makes him mute. Like, he can't speak for so long. And then when he's finally born, he praises God and tells him, "My son's name was John." But that shows us that the lack of faith could mess things up. So God needs us to trust Him more. And that trust that God has already done it for you will mean so much to God. And the blessing that comes upon you will be given to you 100-fold. It's going to be... But if you have any disbelief at all that it won't happen, well, it's probably not going to work. If God eventually gives it to you, the prayer might be incomplete, or something bad will happen down the road. You need to trust God more. Trust that God already knows what you want, and is already working on it. You have to trust God more. That's the reason why God calls us to be patient sometimes. Now, the third reason why the third answer God usually gives is grow up first. Grow up in wisdom, grow up in strength, faith, what have you. If you're not mentally or physically or brave enough to handle what you're asking for, God may not give it to you. God is not going to give you... I said this in the last video. God is not going to give you something that you're not prepared for. He will never give us something that we're unprepared for. But that's why sometimes we need to sit down, listen, and mature, grow up. In wisdom, strength, courage, what have you. Now the final answer that usually, and then once that happens, God will give you exactly what you want. Now the final thing that the final answer God usually give is yes. That's 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 apparent right away. Usually, within the next day or two, God has given it to you, and and that's and usually God will give you something right away if He already knows if you are humbled, you are mature enough to handle it, if you are patient enough, if you trust in the Lord, and if you're not demanding anything, if you're testing God, and if He knows it's not good enough for you, He won't give it to you. And that's basically how prayers work from everything I understand about God. Um, but but the main thing you guys need to do if you get anything from me is trust the Lord your God, and He'll provide for all you need. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoy this video, and if you did, please, for me, hit the subscribe button if you're new around here, and if you already subscribed, please hit the like button. God bless you all, and I hope you have a great day.